What up, what up? I am Tima from the Jump Out Girls, and we are excited to be sitting here with Aubrey. Aubrey is a social media influencer and does a lot of things with Bitcoin. I will let her explain further, like all the parties and partnerships you have and what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
really
no worries.
appreciate being on the show. I work with a company called Trust Machines, and Trust Machines builds on top of Bitcoin, tries to create companies and products that build on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. So most people think of Bitcoin as money,
right?
And that is what it can be used for, or a store of value. But it is also infrastructure, and you can build on top of the Bitcoin blockchain, the layer one, and build layers on top of that.
Right.
So that's what we're working on. I also advise for Lolly, which is a Bitcoin rewards app that allows you to earn Bitcoin when you shop online, just like how you earn cash back.
Yeah.
And I also advise Pubkey. It's a bar in New York City. It's a Bitcoin bar. And I have a podcast called The Observation. And a film that I made last year called Like a Feeling. It's a Bitcoin film. Go check it out. It's 13 minutes if you have the time.
Yeah, wow, that's a lot. We actually use Lolly, and it's like it was so great to like be able to go to like different like CVS or Sephora and just like get earned sats just from buying things.
Totally.
I think it's just like a great way to integrate, and it speaks a lot to the space, just making it simple and easy to
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't change your daily behaviors. Bitcoin just becomes a part of your life, and you can earn passively. So that's the really great thing about Lolly.
Yeah. So like in terms of like any projects you're working on, is anything in the future that's coming up that you'd like to speak on?
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm working on my second film. So
nice.
it is a Bitcoin adjacent film and talking about finance, but mostly in America, because I think a lot of times we point to developing nations, which is they're good examples of how Bitcoin can fix corruption in governments, but there's also a lot of corruption in the governments within our country. And so I can't say too much about it because it's in development, but I am working on another film. Yeah.
Good. And just with like women and, having more women in the space, do you think or how do you maybe foresee getting more women involved with like moderation, speaking? Because we can influence all day, but it's like it'd be nice to see us more of us on stage.
Yeah, I think I saw something on Twitter that it was like there was 20 Matts, a bunch of Alexes. I don't know, they broke down all the common names. There was a bunch of guy names. There's one Aubrey speaking at this conference. I'm speaking tomorrow.
Okay.
But I think with this space, it is hard sometimes as a woman to break through a lot of the noise. I do think Twitter as a platform and as a voice is the best way to share your ideas. I wrote a lot of articles when I was first starting out, and that was how I got my ideas out there.
Good.
For different publications like Newsweek and CoinDesk and CNBC and Bitcoin Magazine. So I think if you can articulate your thoughts and try to share that you do have room, I do deserve a spot here, then I think you can get one.
Yeah, no, definitely. With social media influence and just like you're heavy on social media, how do you think just with like up and coming influencers, they can utilize the space just to grow their platform?
I think that if you come in with, from a good place and you really do want the benefit of Bitcoin and to advance the world, I think people can really tell that. And so if you're passionate about it, I think your passion shines through. Truly. I think it's if you're a real believer in freedom and the tenets that make Bitcoin in this space what it is, I think that people resonate with that. So I feel like if you can just show up and be loud but be passionate, I think that it will come to you.
Yeah. Consistent too.
Consistent with it.
Yeah. So your flight here was like extremely delayed.
Yes.
And I'm like surprised to even see that you're here.
Yeah.
So like, how do you think Bitcoin could have helped that? Like just with the flight delays, they cancel flights, the airlines,
Yeah. Well, it's been really bad, and across the world, it's actually really sad that in 2024 that this is what our transportation looks like.
Correct.
Because it shouldn't look like that. We don't have to go into the entire reason why it fell out, but Microsoft and CrowdStrike had some issues. There was a single point of failure, and for people who don't know what single point of failure means, I think we talk in these buzzwords a lot in this space. But single point of failure just means there's a centralized institution that basically can cause for every single connection to that entity to shut down if it fails. So if that fails, everything else fails. And that's really bad, and that's not what Bitcoin is like. Bitcoin is decentralized. It operates through many different computers. If one computer shuts down, that doesn't mean the entire network shuts down.
Right.
And so, yes, I think Bitcoin in many ways can solve a lot of the problems that we continue to deal with and don't fix.
Yeah, that's a great point. How would you explain Bitcoin to a toddler or a kid?
I would say if I have an apple and I want to give you that apple, I don't need to pass it to your friend to make sure that you get it. You can see that I have the apple, and if I give it to you, you now know that you have the apple. We don't need a third party.
Yeah.
And we are both I don't want to say self-custody, we're both owning the apple, and I'm holding it, and I'm responsible for that apple. And if that was money, I don't know.
No, that's
if
great.
If that was money, that's what it would be.
That's great. You know what's so interesting is of the women we've asked this question to, women have given the best examples of how to explain it to a child.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Yes.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with us. We truly appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Anytime.
it. Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you.